Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Puck Drop Podcast, where today we're going to be doing segments such as Hit Check, Trading Places, Cup Final Predictions, and the Overtime. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll start off this episode with Hit Check. Some of the biggest hits around the NHL right now, Ryan Reaves' hit on Tyler Mott. In my opinion, Ryan Reaves could have gotten a little bit lower on the guy, but he did hit him in the head, and he served his penalty, and that's the main point. They lost him for Game 1 of the conference final, and that was a big loss for Vegas, and in my opinion, that was a dirty hit, but he served his penalty, so everything's good, and Dallas won the series just as I thought they would, and I think that was a very fair call by the refs and the NHLPA, National Hockey League Players Association, for anyone that doesn't know what that means. The next hit we're going to be talking about is Matthew Tkachuk's hit on Mark Scheifele, which I think, so we all know Matthew Tkachuk, he is a big hitter, he finishes his checks, but when he hits people, he doesn't try and hurt them intentionally. I don't think he was trying to hurt him intentionally this time. He did have a little bit of a leg extension. That's probably where they saw and gave him the penalty. But Mark Scheifele, he got injured. That's a big loss for Winnipeg. But Calgary, they won the series. They lost to the Stars, but they won the series, even without Tkachuk. So that proves that Calgary has a very deep team, but that also proves that Mark Scheifele is a big part of the Winnipeg Jets. So both those things adding up means that Calgary won the series. I don't think that was a dirty hit. That was a clean hit, except for the little leg extension by Matthew Tkachuk. And now the next topic is the hit by Killorn from the Tampa Bay Lightning on Brock Nelson of the New York Islanders in the conference final. In my opinion, that was a dirty hit. His head was facing the boards. He hit him on the numbers, straight into the numbers, head first into the boards. That was a dirty hit. He served his penalty. The Islanders still lost the series, but they won the next game when Killorn wasn't there. That proves that Killorn is a big part. So all the guys that I've mentioned for every single one of these hits have been some of the biggest pieces to each of the teams. Either the players that got hurt, such as Scheifele, or the players such as Tkachuk, Killorn, and Reaves that got suspended, yes, for one game and the misconduct in that game. Those were big parts of those teams that affected how their series went, either good or bad, or even just their next game. But in my opinion, that was a dirty hit. If he got him on his shoulder, that wouldn't have been as bad of a hit, but he hit him straight head first into the boards, and that's really where I think the dirty hit came into play. We are going to go on to our next segment now, Trading Places, where some of the biggest trades in the NHL are happening, such as Jake Allen moving to the Montreal Canadiens for a few picks and a player. I'm not really sure who it is. But even though Carey Price is a really good goalie for the Canadiens, I think that Jake Allen may be a little bit better, just a little bit better than Carey Price, or at least on the same level. Price, he's obviously one of the top goaltenders in the National Hockey League, but we need to understand that Jake Allen is too. So they're going to have really good goalie depth. They're going to be really good on the defensive end. They already are with Weber and other guys on their team. I'm not sure about the whole Canadiens team. I don't know all the players, but I know Weber is a very good defenseman with a very fast slap shot, hardest shot in the league as of the All-Star game this season. But that's a big acquisition for the Montreal Canadiens, and I feel like they didn't lose as much as I think the Blues should have acquired for Allen. So I feel like the Canadiens had the better side of that deal, in my opinion. The Canadiens got more than what they deserved for what they were giving up. They didn't give up as much as I think they should have for Allen, because Jake Allen, as I keep saying, like a broken record, is a very good goaltender. To give him up, even though Jordan Binnington didn't show off his true skill this year, to give him up is going to be a good Jordan Binnington a very good lead role spot as the best goaltender on the Blues. Right now, I think the only goaltender on the Blues, unless the Blues pick up another goaltender. I know this is a trade that happened before the pause, but it's been talked about a lot. And also, there haven't been that many trades after the pause or re-signings. So, I'm going to bring it up. J.G. Pageau from the Ottawa Senators moving to the New York Islanders. Leading scorer, one of the leading scorers in the postseason. He was tied for being the leading scorer with 9 goals on the Islanders. He had 27 in the regular season. I'm not 100% sure. 26 or 27 in the regular season. He only played about 4 games, I think, with the Islanders before the pause. Something around that. But he is a big pickup for the Islanders because the Islanders are mainly a defensive team, and he is a very offensive player. He used to be even a captain of a team. He was the assistant captain of the team at one point. He was one of the best players for the Senators, and the Senators lost him. I'm shocked that the Senators didn't re-sign him, but as an Islander fan, I'm very happy to have him on the Islanders. He's a very good offensive player. He just has a nose for the net. He goes to the net whenever he knows it's the right time. And he has a wicked shot as well. So those are all positive signs about J.G. Pageau on the Islanders. And I hope to see him as a leading scorer and moving us to the top of the leaderboards next year in the regular season and even in the postseason. Some other news as on the re-signing side, Kasperi Kapanen is being traded back to the Pittsburgh Penguins from the Toronto Maple Leafs after having a really good season with the Maple Leafs in the regular and postseasons. Even though the Maple Leafs postseason and the Penguins postseason were both very short, Kapanen had a very good postseason for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He had one of the game-winning goals, I believe, or one of the game-winning assists, I think. If you watch the clip, they say that Kapanen got the goal, Austin Matthews got the goal. So I'm pretty sure it was Kapanen that got the assist, but I'll check on that another time. You can probably look that up, and I might put a link in the description to that clip. I'll put a link in the description to a few of the clips also. But that is a big acquisition for the Penguins. If you put him on a line with Sidney Crosby and Letang or Sidney Crosby and Malkin, that would be a lethal line. That would be just as good as a line like Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, and I don't even know. Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov, those two together equal 3 other people. Just those 2 people are better than a line of 3. I think that's the 2 most lethal people right now in the playoffs. Even though they're 2 of the only people left in the playoffs, there's only 2 teams left, but you know what I mean. Anyway, him going to the Penguins, Kasperi Kapanen going to the Penguins, is going to be a lethal lineup if they put him in the Penguins before. Most people don't know. He started his career as a Pittsburgh Penguin. He went to the Toronto Maple Leafs after a few years with the Penguins, and now he's going back to the Penguins to be on a lethal line, hopefully. I would like to see him get put with Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. If he gets put on that line, Penguins could be at the top of the leaderboard in the regular season next season very, very quick and could keep it for a very, very long time, in my opinion. And now we will move on. As long as I'm not missing any very important trades, I will hopefully not be missing any very important trades, but if I am, please let me know in the comments. But now, Cup final prediction. My Stanley Cup final prediction. Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Dallas Stars. Both teams, I think, deserve to be there. If I wasn't favoring the Islanders, I would pick both of those teams to be in the final. Obviously, I picked the Islanders because I'm an Islander fan, but if the Islanders weren't in the playoffs, I would probably pick the Stars and the Lightning. The Lightning are very young, and they're very, very, very fast. They have Kucherov. They have Point. They have Andrei Vasilevsky, as they like to call him, the Big Cat. I don't know why they call him that, but they do. That's his nickname. I don't know why, but they call him that, and they're just on such a roll in the playoffs, and they normally are in the regular season too. They're just a hard team to figure out. They can just do everything. They can take shots from the point and tip them in. They can make almost disgusting passing plays all around. They're just so fast. They can beat out icings like no other team. Their power play, lethal. Their penalty kill, lethal. They have a high shorthanded goal scoring percentage. I don't know what's up with the Tampa Bay Lightning, but even with all those positive things, I'm going to move over to the Dallas Stars and tell you why I'm picking the Dallas Stars to win the Stanley Cup final. Even though the Dallas Stars already have one game, I have had them winning for the West ever since the restart. I have had them winning the West. It was either them or the Avalanche. And once they started winning that series against the Avalanche, I knew I was picking the Stars. But I've had them ever since the beginning of the postseason, ever since the restart. Even before, right when I heard that those were the matchups, I knew that the Stars were going to be a deadly team in the postseason. But, with that being said, the Stars are a veteran team. They have older guys. They have more experienced guys. They have They have outstanding goaltending. Ben Bishop, even though he hasn't played a lot, and Anton Khudobin, who's been almost a miracle worker for the Stars. I know he's played games, but he has played out of his mind. Out of his mind in the postseason. I didn't even think. Once I heard Ben Bishop was out, I was very scared for the Stars. I really thought my picks for them to win the series, whatever the series that Bishop was out in, when I heard that Bishop got out, I was very scared for the Stars because I wanted the Stars to win the West. The Stars, for some weird reason, are my favorite team in the West. They're just such a good team. They have awesome, very nice, very well-rounded, very skilled players. And they're more veteran. They have more experience. They've been here more than the Lightning. They've been in this kind of position more than the Lightning. They just know how to get the job done, as you have seen in Game 1, in the conference final, in the second round, in the first round, and in the round robin. They didn't play in the qualifier because they were in the fourth place spot in the West. So they did not play in the round robin. But with that being said, I'm keeping the Stars as my team to win the Stanley Cup final. Not changing it. I will have an episode almost immediately after the end of whatever the final game of the Cup final is. There's a game tonight, because I'm recording this on Monday the 21st. There's a game tonight, and if the Stars win that, they're going to have a very, very, very good lead on the Lightning. The Lightning have not experienced a deficit. I don't think the Lightning in this entire postseason... Okay, they experienced one deficit, I believe, a 1-0 deficit to Boston in the second round. That is the only deficit that they've had, I believe, in the entire postseason, excluding the round robin. With that being said, I am keeping the Stars to win the Cup final. Moving on to the last segment is the overtime, where we just kind of talk about some miscellaneous topics that didn't really fit into any other categories. But for this overtime, I think I only have either one or two topics to talk about. The first topic is, for the second season straight, the Ottawa Senators will have no captain on their team. The coach says he wants a younger player to step up and show their leadership skills to be proven, and he wants to prove that one of his younger players can be the captain of the team in one of the upcoming seasons. He's saying they might appoint a captain before the start of the season, but there's a very small chance that they will appoint a captain before the start of the next season. That is a really good call, I think. I hope that that is a really good call in some other people's opinions, but I don't know what to say. They had so many good captains. They've had good captains. I don't remember if J.G. Pageau was the captain at one point or just the assistant. I know he was the assistant, but I know they had Erik Karlsson. He was lethal on the Ottawa Senators. He was so good. Then he got traded to the Sharks, or went to the Sharks. I don't know if he got traded or not, but he went to the Sharks, San Jose Sharks. I think that waiting for one of those younger guys to step up and take the role of leader would really prove to the younger guys what they have a role of on that team. Because that team is very good when they can put their skills to great use. When they all work together as a team. When sometimes they make dumb mistakes, that's when they let up goals, and that's when they lose games and have rough seasons. They've had really good seasons before. Really good seasons before. I'm just hoping, I would like to see them be somewhere in the top 4. Let's say, I'll say top 4 or 5 of their division. I would like to see them in the top 4 or 5 teams of their division. I believe they're in the Pacific Division. I'm not sure, but if I'm wrong about that, also let me know in the comments. I'm not looking stuff up, so I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. I know they're obviously not in Atlantic or Metropolitan, so I'm pretty sure they're in the Pacific. They're in Pacific or Central, so someone just let me know. Anyway, I think that is going to do it for this episode. If any of you have Stanley Cup final predictions, please let me know in the comments. Let me know about any topics you'd like me to cover in the next episode of the podcast. And just let me know what you think about this first episode. If I need to be more energetic, if you need me to talk less, if you want me to just tell me what you think about this first episode. Let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for listening to the podcast, and I'll see you guys next week, unless we have a pop-up podcast in the middle of the week. I'll see you guys then. Cheers.